Friday the 13th, 2009 has a group of people partying while Clay is looking for his sister, Whitney. So this is like a reboot of the franchise, came out in 2009. So it kind of condensed all of the plot of the first 4 movies into one movie. So yeah, Friday the 13th has never had a lot of story going for it. But with that said, the positives on this film are the first 20 minutes is both funny with things characters say and do, and then it's scary with Jason killing everyone in like a scene. It's a great way to start the movie. It really sets the tone for the movie, so I really like it. The cinematography is at its best. It's shot really well. I mean, this looks better than every Friday the 13th movie in the 80s, for sure. I think it looks better than Jason Goes to Hell. The only 2 movies that I wouldn't say look better than it, but are still on par with this movie are Jason X to a degree. CGI in that, not great, but still the cinematography itself looks modern, looks okay. And then the other movie, Freddy vs. Jason, the cinematography for that also looks pretty good. So, like, those 3 movies all have good cinematography. So those are, like, the only other 2 movies that I think have actually good cinematography, aside from this one. But yes, the cinematography for this movie looks really good. One of the best looking films in the Friday the 13th franchise. Jason Voorhees in this is super scary. Not only is he big, but he's a much smarter version of Jason. He sets traps. He knows how to use a bow and arrow. And he runs at people, so that's really scary, while Jason Voorhees in most of the movies kind of just walks, or certainly in the later Friday the 13th movies. He runs a little bit in Friday the 13th Part 3 at the end, but like for the Kane Hodder version of Jason, I don't think he's ever ran after someone, but but in this one, he actually runs, and that is actually effectively scary. He sets traps, and so I do think this is a really good version of Jason Voorhees. It's certainly one of the best, if not the best, version of Jason Voorhees. So it's really good, really, really scary. This movie is kind of like Part 4 to a degree. It has a lot going on in it. It keeps rotating, so it's not boring. You have Jenna and Clay searching for his sister. You have everyone else back at the house partying. And you have Whitney revealed that she was captured trying to escape. So a lot going on. I really like it. So it's never boring. I kind of like the line when Chewie was in the garage and he has a hockey stick and he says to Jason, "Are you looking for this? Because it completes your outfit." That's always funny. That's a funny gag that the movie does. So it kind of lightens up the tone a little bit for that one scene, even though it's pretty scary. And the last positive is the kills in this movie are awesome. Trent getting impaled with a machete is painful. Richie with the machete in the head, that's really cool. And Amanda being roasted alive in a sleeping bag, that's terrifying. Along with other kills that are pretty good, but those are the 3 standout kills of the film. So kills in this are awesome and brutal and bloody, so they're really good. That's it for positives. On to the negatives. And they're pretty small, I'll say. The first negative is the characters don't really stand out. None of them are really memorable. None of them are like this character I love to watch for how entertaining they are, as opposed to part 4 where that has Crispin Glover, which he's hilarious in that movie with his dance and whatnot. And Ted trying to get him laid. Like, he's memorable. Here, like, I mean, obviously I remember the characters. I can remember them pretty distinctly just because I've seen this movie a few times. But, you know, if this was like a first-time watch, I don't know if I would really remember any other characters, or really any characters, because none of them really stand out. None of them have like this quirk about them that just makes them stand out, makes them such a fun character. So, the characters, I will say, are kind of scaled back a bit in how memorable they are as compared to like part 4 or even part 6. And the only other negative is the ending is honestly kind of lame. And it doesn't make any sense. Jason comes back for one last scare, like the original part 2, part 3. I mean, like, part 3 was Pamela, but it's revealed that Jason isn't dead, which I guess was like part 1, part 2 to a degree. And kind of like, I think part 6, part 7, and oh no, just part 6 and part 7. So like, it's a running trope that like Jason isn't actually dead. And it doesn't make sense because he was stabbed in the chest and his head was mulched up by a wood chipper. But he's still kicking? So like, technically he should be dead. I don't know what... There's no supernatural element in this movie at all, so it doesn't make any sense why he's alive, and it's just a lazy way to end the movie. But in the end, this is actually a really good Friday the 13th movie. It's scary and brutal. It's probably the scariest movie in the franchise. It has very little comedy in the film. It has one of the best... it has one of, if not the best performance of Jason Voorhees. So, the Friday the 13th reboot is actually a really good movie. I approve of Friday the 13th, the reboot. Thanks for watching.